Core Keeper's latest update, the Shimmering Frontier, is now available for everyone, and I've got the lowdown on absolutely everything brand new added that you need to know. Really appreciate if you leave a like if you find this video useful. Check out the individual guides I've done with much more in-depth detail. Let's go. So the Shimmering Caves or biome is situated all around the Core Keeper world. It's not in any one direction, but it may be quite further out if you've explored quite a bit. So these new biomes are normally encased by quite a lot of the crystal that obviously you're going to need to mine through, but there are some things to help you. There are brand new hand drills added that you can pick up, although they still may not be strong enough to get through the crystal, so you may need the obliterate gun. This will absolutely demolish all kinds of walls and terrain in a more uncontrolled fashion, but it's really cool to use. Now the biome itself is pretty dangerous as it's got these radiation green crystals that can take some serious health away if you haven't got the right protection. I'll talk about that later, but basically you need to find a trader that will give you a special hazmat suit. Of course, there's plenty of new enemies like these guys. I believe they're called mimites, and they have obviously got a lightning charge attack. Obviously charges at you with lightning, so yeah, they can be pretty challenging. You've then got also these guys, orbital turrets. They'll remain static while shooting, and you can't actually do any damage against them until they've actually stopped. And their laser beams do a huge amount of damage, so you have to be really careful. And we also have millipedes. These guys can go along the dirt or the water, basically going through walls to attack you. So they'll pretty much hover around the brand new biome, so you'll know you're in the vicinity when you see some of them. There is a new boss, and I'm going to save that for later just in case you really want to avoid spoilers. So the new material that you're trying to harvest is solarite, and this is the brand new ore that's been added. As you would expect, there is a brand new armor set, new weapons, and a new fishing rod that you can craft using these new ores. These will be crafted obviously at the brand new solarite anvil, and you've got a good focus here on melee damage and really going in for the kill, as you do a lot of lifesteal with this armor set, but you also do a lot of damage while at max health, and there's plenty of critical hit chance as well. A new crossbow and a new sword complements the new gear that you can actually craft yourself. The brand new solarite workbench obviously has the anvil, fishing rod, and a brand new pickaxe, as well as obviously lots of brand new build pieces made out of gleam wood, a brand new glowing wood that glows and grows inside the brand new biome. It's just like the other wood, you can go ahead and grow this yourself, or hopefully find enough pieces that you can harvest out in the wild. Plenty of new foliage as well. I'm kind of disappointed that the radiation crystals so far as I can tell, have no actual use. Unless there's something I've greatly missed, they're simply able to be collected once you actually bash them. And I guess you could have a toxic biome back at home. Maybe they will help with mob spawning, although there is a new ground covering that you can see here as well that will also, I presume, make more enemies spawn if you want to do some mob farming back at your base. Once again, the Core Keeper devs have outdone themselves with the prettiness of these biomes. I really want to keep exploring this. It's so cozy, so bright, colourful, and just really atmospheric. The last brand new creature that they've added as part of this new biome is this snail. Now, you might not want to kill these guys as they do drop some loot, but they also go through the terrain and they will make more of the crystal biome for you to go and explore. I've seen them literally build a whole bridge across the sunken sea as they travel forth. They'll also leave behind any ores that they manage to dig through, so it could be worth it, yeah, not trying to kill these guys all the time. They'll drop meat and some ore, but that's pretty much about it, and maybe a new snail critter. As always, you will come across giant nodes of the brand new solarite that you can go ahead and set up mining drills for. And lastly, the main thing you'll be looking for hopefully within these crystal biomes are these. These are brand new battle arenas that you have to activate and stay within the green circle. You'll find these within alien settlements basically, and you'll have to work your way through defeating more of the similar mobs like the orbitals, and then hopefully taking these on. It can sometimes vary what they'll spawn, and you'll get different arenas of different sizes, giving you more difficulty. These creatures are spawning from the materializers. That's what these little pods are, and you can actually harvest these afterwards and take them back with you to utilize. I've obviously sped up the footage here just to show you what exactly is going to entail when taking them on, and yeah, you might get some of the mimites, you might get the orbital guys, or a mixture. You step out the circle, it goes red, and you may lose progress and have to start again, so always try and stay within that circle. Your reward for doing so, a brand new battery item that will be able to be placed and a new trader appear. Quite like this brand new singing crystal that makes a noise when you ping it, as well as obviously new accessories like this glass bead necklace doing 75% critical hit damage. And you notice the green little jewels there, that is emerald, and there are 3 brand new types of this scattered all throughout the world, as you'll need these to upgrade your weapons and gear. You'll do this at the brand new upgrade bench that you craft at a Scarlet workbench, and here you just put your items in. It will tell you how much it's going to cost in terms of ore, ancient coins, and the max level that you can upgrade now is up to level 18. Different gear, different items that you find out in the world or craft will have their own level associated, so some things may only require some scarlet, tin, iron, etc. for a few levels, but it does increase obviously the cost every time. You may want to think again though if you want to take a basic weapon like a wooden sword and upgrade it to max level, as it will cost over 4,000 ancient coins to do so. And of course an absolute ton of different ores as you go through the levels. The 3 new jewels, emeralds, sapphires and rubies are needed to get to the last levels. Level 16, the jungle emerald will be needed. These can be found as drops in the Asios wilderness. Level 17, you're going to need the ocean sapphires, which you obviously find in the ocean biomes. Lastly, level 18, the rubies, which you'll find in the Desert of Beginnings biome. They are pretty random and rare drops. I got some obviously from completing that battle event. I'm pretty sure I got a drop from killing a certain enemy or looting some chests too. But it does look like you'll have to find these within the Shimmering biomes in each of them regions. As I mentioned, they are found everywhere now. You just may have to go a bit further out if you've generated a lot of your world already to hopefully find some of the brand new Shimmering biome. At the moment, level 18 is the max level, but I'm sure they may increase it in future. So once you've got your trader set up, obviously in a nice brand new Gleamwood room, as I mentioned, he'll sell you the hazmat suit to give you more protection against the radiation crystals, some new decorative items that you can place on walls that kind of look like portcullises, sort of windows within ships, and then a strange potion that gives you 40% extra damage against enemies, but does mean you're also 40% going to take more damage. They've also got lunar cheese, which is pretty good for giving you some glow and stopping you from being stunned, and of course the brand new boss summoning item. Again, I'm going to leave that to the very end of the video before I show you the boss. It's going to cost 2,670 ancient coins to go ahead and buy one of these. So the armor's fairly decent, obviously, as you would expect, it is a late game armor, so it's going to give you lots of health, lots of armor, and the pants here give extra melee damage. In fact, the whole suit is pretty geared towards melee, and obviously when you're wearing all 3 pieces, that's when it's going to give you the protection. You will also find out in the world some brand new armor pieces. You've got the Cosmos set now, great for mining, and I do believe it's only 2 pieces though, the helmet and the chest piece, and wearing both pieces makes you immune to burning. So perfect for them trips to the lava little fortresses that you find in the desert. Before I go too far talking about other stuff, just FYI, you can upgrade tools and lots of other gear, including necklaces and rings at the upgrade station, and pretty much it'll all boost up your stats in terms of either damage it does or some of the other perks. Generally though, it won't increase any attack speed for any weapons. And sadly, it doesn't increase the durability of anything either. If you've already got a massively high powered weapon or piece of gear that you found, then obviously it's just going to be straight away more expensive to go ahead and craft, and you probably will need some of the brand new jewels instead of some of the other ores. There are 2 brand new crops. You've got Lunacorn and you've got the Sunrise, and they'll obviously give you some good buffs, mainly doing damage against bosses. There's a brand new turtle-like looking creature called a Kelpal. And obviously with all the other cattle, you can now breed them. If you get 2 of the same in a small space, then they should hopefully start breeding and producing more baby versions of themselves. There's also the brand new livestock workbench, and this is where you can craft a leash so you can drag creatures to where you want them, or even put them inside boxes for one-time use to easily transport them when you come across them in the wild. You're going to need some of the roly plating that they drop once they've been fed and hungry, these guys, because lots of that is needed for the solarite armor. As I mentioned earlier, materializers can be actually gathered and used later, and you can basically set up arenas and battles for yourself by placing any of the trophies from creatures that you've slain inside one of these. It will perpetually keep spawning enemies every time you kill one. So you can see here I've got the red slimes, and it's going to keep on producing one every time one dies. You just need to power it up with a generator and electricity, and yeah, you can make yourself some really cool battle arenas or gauntlets to run through now. I was kind of hoping this would actually replace having massive farms set up for all different types of mobs, but sadly by looks of things, unless I was just really unlucky, none of the creatures were actually dropping any resources. I do believe they're slightly larger than normal as well, and obviously they've got a better glow on them so you can tell which one has been spawned in and which one might be natural. So a cool little addition for people that really want to do some extra creative stuff, but yeah, kind of useless in terms of just purely farming. I thought that this would give us a much more advanced technological way of doing it. They also only work on normal mobs. You will not be able to use special mobs or bosses, their trophies, inside these materializers. As you would expect, there's a huge ton of quality of life improvements made to the game. Regular and red slime will no longer damage your cattle. Melee weapons can now hit plants, bushes and tall grass, and they've increased the quantity of bombs when dropped as loot. There will now be a proper message showing that if something is indestructible or not, or whether or not you just need a higher tiered weapon. They have boosted or changed a lot of different weapon stats, so check some of your favourites. There's a whole ton of brand new decorative items added to the game as well, over 40 new ones in fact. New wooden spike traps to help in the basic defense in the early part of the game. Obviously 6 brand new achievements, 6 brand new hairstyles at the magic mirror. You can also use the meadow ground now for seed planting and gardening. 5 new fish caught in the Shimmering frontier. There is a brand new tool also to allow some light to shine through the ceiling. 50 brand new pieces of equipment that have actually been spread out across the world to hopefully make exploring some of the older biomes a little bit more rewarding, as well as in the new, obviously, Shimmering Frontier, and 10 new weapons. By far my favourite is this new shuriken. It basically will keep going in the same direction as a trap until it does eventually hit an enemy, and it can be really useful for taking out these guys. There is a brand new pet slime as well. Go and kill the king of the slimes to receive that. And pretty much that's it. Look away now if you don't want to see what the boss is, although it's been shown off in the trailer, so it's not that much of a spoiler. But obviously with the brand new item, you have to place it in the sunken sea somewhere. However, it has to be pretty close. It effectively roams around much like the other worms do, either in a big circle, and so you will have to actually hope and get lucky that you're close enough to it. You'll know when you are because as soon as you place the brand new bait pole, it will make a roaring sound, and that means it's pretty close by. So I managed to do this twice in the same area, but after that it wouldn't spawn again, and I searched and searched all over the map hoping to get another spawn, but it was really taking a long time. So yeah, you're gonna have to work that out a bit more. I'm probably gonna do a bit more research and see if there's any other little rules to it, but this is the Atlantean worm, looking pretty ferocious. To be honest, considering I hadn't played Core Keeper in a while, and I've yet to even defeat Arak, the new sand creature, I was actually surprised I managed to take this out first time. Obviously having the brand new best gear in the game was a good help, and you're probably gonna need a fast boat like I've got here. Effectively, when you're taking him out, he'll move around and do a bit of damage to you if he manages to catch you, but you can see his body parts split in there. You have to be careful because you could potentially release multiple mounts of the worms attacking you at once like this. Basically, you have to whittle away his body parts until you finally get to the last one. So you do have to aim for certain points. Again, this is why this shuriken was so good. It just really did the trick, hitting enemies in the same spot. Otherwise have a bit more precise aim, and look out for them lightning balls as they do a huge amount of damage, taking nearly half my health there. The Atlantean worm can also glide through and decimate the landscape in the sunken biome. I'm not too sure about other biomes, but it can actually basically create new waterways, so you have to be careful in building a base too close to maybe the sunken sea. All in all, a great little boss fight for sure, and definitely got me in the mood to go and tackle some of the other ones that I've yet to defeat. Just got to work out exactly how his routine is, where he might move, and what the coup is, whether or not it's just a bigger cooldown possibly. So here's all the loot I got from that one fight. Atlantean worm heart, which I'll talk about in a second. Obviously the brand new chest. We've got the cosmic form, which is also a fish. A jasper anglefish. The Atlantean worm figurine. And the Atlantean worm sword. If you actually cook the Atlantean worm heart with another fish or something, then it will give you a permanent 100 extra max health. But it can only happen once. I did go and farm the boss one more time, and yeah, this was greyed out now, meaning that I wouldn't be able to get that extra bonus health again. The cosmic form was another fish that gives lots of bonus health, and the Atlantean worm sword was pretty good for melee damage against bosses, 17% extra in fact, as well as obviously a pretty high melee damage, although not as high as actually the solarite sword. But you do get some lifesteal with this sword as well. And the durability was pretty good on it, 500. So there we go, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the new Shimmering Frontier update. You're going to be spending a lot more of your ancient coins now, hopefully to get all this new gear, and more importantly, upgrading anything you want. It's a really great addition. Being able to utilise some of your favourite weapons and make them stronger now so they're more worthwhile to carry on using is a great addition. If there's anything important you think I should have included, do let me know, and do go and check out the individual videos, as I said, with much more detail, especially as I'm going to spend a bit more time doing a little bit more research or better looks at some of this stuff. Thanks again to Fireshine Games for giving me a preview of this, and I'll see you ratbags for more Core Keeper content, hopefully in the future.